Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome, Bizak. Have I been that kind of person before? I think I have been. And I think most of us have been. The person where you think you know everything. Nobody can tell you anything. You have some people who are a little more humble and maybe you at this point probably call it knowledgeable by sometimes learning the art of not talking as much. Something over the years that I've learned how to tamper down, because sometimes you could be right about things, but it's not necessarily what people want to hear. And the one thing I've always tried never to be is a person who was a kind of like, you know what I mean, I told you so, or, you know what I mean, it's, you know, I'm telling you. And believe me, I know a part of the time, you know, earlier in life in the 20s I was, but as I've gotten older, I've learned how to be much more considerate of people's feelings. And sometimes you putting your opinions or your way of thinking onto other people sometimes can offend people. Because the same way you think that you know a lot, unless you're a definite expert in it, other people think that they know a lot. You know, they feel as though they're knowledgeable in a lot of different things. The same way you may think that you're knowledgeable. And you get to a point where you start to think and you say, dang, I don't know everything. Maybe I should just talk more about more of the things that I do know. Just like as before, I've told you, you know, I'm never going to get up here and talk about the perils or the ups and downs of marriage unless it's secondhand knowledge that I get from someone else, one of my friends that are or family members that are married, because there are certain things that you just can't do. The same way it's hard to judge about raising kids or the way you discipline kids unless, and I had to be told this one, unless you actually go through the process of raising a child. Because it's totally different, because you know how it is, nieces and nephews, you know, you can give back, but you can't give back your own kid. So there are some things that you just don't know. And as time goes on, when we think about trying to know everything, the longer we live, you realize how much you still need to learn, how much you still need to try to take in. And that's another reason why I talk on here, is because there's still a lot of things that I need to learn. There's still a lot of things I want to learn. And it's always and should always be a thing of wanting to get better, wanting to be better, wanting to do better, wanting to talk better. Because we all got a bunch of stuff going on in our heads. You know, sometimes people be like, well, let me know how you really feel when you say something, or a person may say something that's a little more direct and blunt. And some of us are direct and blunt, but this is what I would implore people to do. If people treat you good, how about this? Treat them good. If they don't talk about your kids, don't you start blabbing your mouth talking about their kids. If they don't talk about your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, do yourself a favor. Don't talk about theirs. Because guess what? You don't know everything. Be more mindful. As I often say, be more thoughtful before you publicly blab your mouth. Now, you know, we all got that one person or two people, you know, like I always say, because none of us are perfect, that we confide in and We talk trash about people too and all of this other kind of stuff. But when you become an around the clock trash talker, when you become an around the world trash talker where anybody with a phone, you ready to say, hey, yo, guess what happened to Greg? Hey, yo, guess what happened to that? Oh, guess what? He's not doing this right. Oh, guess what? He didn't do this right. Stop running your mouth. Stop running your mouth. Especially if I haven't run my mouth off to a bunch of people about you. And that's not just for me. That's for anyone. Show people the same respect that you want shown. You want to know why? Because you don't know everything. But you think you know everything. The other reason, that's why I don't, even when it comes down to other people, people have their own disputes going on, marriages or otherwise. But you typically only hear one side of the story. You typically only hear one side of the story, even with dating. Because, we talk about dating a lot here. Even with dating. Oh, he's gone. He's out of the picture. I'm no longer with him because he's just so not like you. Until you find out that you're so not like him. So therefore, she still stays with him, but is playing the heck out of you. Because guess what? You don't know everything. But we all think that we're special. Hey, look, I think that I'm a special. I'm a Taurus and I like to take walks in the park. Although I'm not heavy in the zodiac and all of that, yes, I'm a Taurus. And I stand most of the time on what I think or what I believe. Not saying my opinions can't be swayed here or there. But it's funny how people will tell you all kinds of stuff. And as you can probably see already, this is a double entendre because you think you know everything as far as being a smart butt. But then on the other side of it, you think you know everything because you're only getting one person's perspective. You're not getting both sides of the story. You know what the funny thing is? I used to always think, even with me telling stories or, when I'm dating and telling people different things like, because I'm sure, and I try to be fair when I tell stories on both sides, but because it's you, it's always going to be slanted towards, guess who? You. So even when I tell a story and I say, blah, 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 about, whomever, I'm sure the woman wants to know, well, you know what? He said all this about this person. I wonder what that person has to say about him. I wonder what that person has to say about him. That's the reason why I don't like about being around him or doing certain stuff. Because you know what? He may be a little demanding. He may be a little difficult. At times, he may be a little boring. Who knows? But everybody has their own perspective on people. But everything that we think we know, because it's what governs our lives, we think that that's law. But it's not. I would love for most people to agree with me in the way I think, because guess what it would do? It would help me think that I'm thinking the right way most of the time. So even with that, it would be very self-fulfilling to feel as though I always or most times have the right answers. But as we know with life, I don't, you don't. And I don't, and you don't know everything. So let's both do ourselves a favor. I'm going to do it. And if you know somebody like this, you tell them to do it too. Say, listen, homie, homegirl, beautiful, sexy, whomever, Yo, you don't know everything. You know a lot. You may think you know a lot, but you don't know everything. And since none of us know everything, we need to get down to the business of starting to learn something new, something different, something that invigorates us, something that makes us feel the way we felt back when we were 15, 16, or maybe 20, or whatever age it was for you. So that way you can keep feeling good. And like I say, you can always hold your head up high, keep your chest up. Because as much as you and I think we know a lot, and we probably do, and at 50, 51 for me, you should know a lot. But I don't know everything. And guess what? I'm willing to learn more. But you better tell it to me in a nice way. You dig? Hey, but do me a favor, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We finally got over 100 subscribers. We're going to do a challenge, $100 challenge coming up to get us to 200 subscribers, but we'll put that out later on in a week. And to all of my 100 friends and family and new friends that I got on there, I appreciate you and thank you so much. But you know what it is. Make sure you live life. Don't let life live you.